Hello. This is actually episode 1. I actually started Classic Q, but I reacted to the pilot episode, and I only realised halfway because there was like scenes or shots of the clapperboard left in. I thought that's kind of weird, and I looked and it said episode 0 pilot. So we're going to see if there's any differences. In theory, this should be slightly better. Maybe at least slightly better. I don't know. We're going to have to see. Let me know the differences between the pilot and this is actually Earthly Child episode 1. Let me know, because I'm probably not going to pick up on all the differences. So let me know, because frankly I won't be able to pick up on them. I'm stupid and not observant. Great for a great reactor. Great idea to start a reaction channel. I am watching this on ITVX. I mean, I will be continuing with BBC iPlayer in the future. It's just Unearthly Child, right? There's some issues with that at the moment. Let me know what is the best platform. Especially, I actually forgot about BBC iPlayer because I was like searching for Unearthly Child. But I suppose looking forward, I can go from BBC iPlayer. If you guys think ITVX is better, I doubt it. But if you guys think that's a better platform, tell me the best place on the internet to watch Classic Q. Okay, and I am a messy human, so apologies for the background. But yeah, let's start. Oh, brilliant. What's happening? Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry, one second. Here we go. Apologies about that. Let me just turn on my audio. Please don't comment about the audio being too loud on my end. These headphones are really quiet. Okay. I much prefer the classic Who theme than the modern theme. I mean, I love the RTD era theme tune, but it feels like in New Who, the theme tune gets worse and worse with every kind of generation of Who. But in Classic Who is frankly always amazing. I think the 70s era, is it Peter Howell? Is that his name? I love that, but I haven't watched all of that. I've only watched some episodes from that when I was about 10. So this is actually me watching Classic Who from start to finish. And I believe we're close to Coal Hill School. I know that's where Susan is. It's very atmospheric and like mysterious. Oh, sorry, my mouse is in the screen, so that must have been horror for everyone watching. Sorry, I hate when people do that. An unearthly child. A Gallifreyan child, if I'm correct. I always can't say that. Anthony. It's Anthony, not Anthony, isn't it? Coburn. Anthony Coburn. Coal Hill. Football athletics. Wonder who's the PE teacher. This is different from the pilot, I think I can tell.
Not gone yet?
Obviously not.
I'll ask a silly question.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'll forgive you this time.
Oh, I had a terrible day. I don't know what to make of it.
Oh, what's the trouble? Can I help?
Oh, it's one of the girls, Susan Foreman.
Susan Foreman? Oh, she your problem too?
Yes?
And you don't know what to make of her?
No?
How old is she, Barbara?
15.
15.
Is she actually
Let
15?
her knowledge out a bit at a time so as not to embarrass me. That's what I feel about her. She knows more science than I'll ever know. She's a genius. Is that what she's doing with history?
Something like that.
Now your problem is whether to stay in business or hand over the class to her.
No, not
Black coffee.
What then?
Ian, I must talk to someone about this, but I don't want to get the girl into trouble. And I know you're going to tell me I'm imagining things.
No, I'm not.
Well, I told you how good she is at history. I had a talk
History?
with her and I told her she ought to specialize.
I love RP.
Well, she seemed quite interested till I said I'd be
Not
willing to
role-playing.
work with her at her home. Then she said that would be absolutely impossible as her grandfather didn't like strangers.
He's a doctor, isn't he? It's a bit of a lame excuse.
Well, I didn't pursue the point, but then recently her homework's been so bad.
Yes, I know.
Finally, I was
TARDIS
so
work.
irritated with all her excuses, I decided to have a talk with this grandfather of hers and tell him to take some interest in her.
Oh, did you indeed? And what's the old boy like?
Well, that's just it.
Sorry,
I got her
spelled.
address from
Sorry.
the secretary. 76 Totters Lane, and I went along there one evening.
Totters
Oh,
Lane?
Pay attention.
Sorry, you went along there one evening?
Well, there isn't anything there. It's just an old junkyard.
Well, you must have gone to the wrong place.
Well, that was the address the secretary gave me.
The secretary got it wrong then.
No, I checked. There's a big wall on one side, houses on the other, and nothing in the middle. And this nothing in the middle is number 76 Totters Lane.
It's a bit of a mystery. Well, there must be a simple answer somewhere.
Well, what?
Well, we'll have to find out for ourselves, won't we?
Thank you for the we. She's waiting in one of the classrooms. I'm lending her a book on the French Revolution.
What's she going to do? Rewrite it? Oh, all right.
I believe there's an
What do we
episode
do?
for
Ask her
in that
point
time
blank.
period, right?
No, I thought we could drive there, wait till she arrives and see where she goes.
Okay, just while we're here, I think the episode, I believe there's an episode set around the French Revolution, that area in series 1. That's as far as I got to when I watched through Classic Who about. So I started to watch this Classic Who about 8 years ago. I watched a few serials as a child because I used to get a serial DVD for like a birthdays and Christmas when I was quite young. But I didn't make it very far, and then this is me doing it properly. I'm also going to watch the other shows as well and try and keep it all in line.
Oh, all right.
Well, that is if you're not doing anything.
I'm not. After you.
Someone tell me what song this is, please. I love the twangy guitars, you know, like the Joe Meek style. I think I literally said all of this in the pilot reaction, so sorry. Maybe I'll keep the pilot episode available on Patreon only if I want to be capitalistic.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Wright. I didn't hear you coming in. Aren't they fabulous?
Who?
It's John Smith and the Cumbermen. They've gone from 19 to 2.
Okay, that's the song.
John Smith is the stage name of the Honourable Aubrey Waits. He started his career as Chris Waits in the Cowlers, didn't he, Susan?
You are surprising, Mr. Chesterton. I wouldn't expect you to know things like that.
I have an inquiring mind.
Bit
And
rude.
a very sensitive ear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Is that the book you promised me? Yes. Thank you very much. It will be interesting. I'll return it tomorrow.
Oh, that's not necessary. Keep it until you've finished it.
I have finished it.
Where do you live, Susan? I'm giving Miss Wright a lift. I've room for one more.
No, thank you, Mr. Chesterton. I like walking through the dark. It's mysterious.
Be careful, Susan. There'll probably be
Bit
a war
weird.
again tonight. See you in the morning.
I expect so. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Susan.
Maybe the 60s was safer, I'm not sure, I don't know. I don't get that impression, frankly, but who knows.
That's not right.
Over there.
Okay, there was
You
no
could definitely
path.
feel
I'd never have found this.
the
He
mystery.
doesn't seem to have arrived yet. I suppose we are doing the right thing, aren't we?
Can't justify curiosity.
But her homework.
Bit of an excuse, really, isn't it? I've seen far worse. The truth is, we're both curious about Susan, and we won't be happy until we know some of the answers.
It's quite well
Pass
shot.
it off like that.
Well, this is a cool
Thought I
shot.
was just being a busybody, I'd go straight home. I thought you agreed she was a bit of a mystery.
Yes, but I think you'll find there's a very simple explanation to all this.
Well, I don't know how you explain the fact that a teenage girl does not know how many shillings there are in a pound.
Really?
I don't know.
Really? She said she thought we were on the decimal system.
Decimal system.
We are now right on the decimal system.
I'm sorry, Miss Wright.
Don't be silly, Susan. The United States has a
Or
decimal
metric.
system. You know perfectly well that we do not.
The
Oh,
decimal system hasn't started yet.
Suppose she couldn't be a foreigner.
what's the difference between the metric and decimal system? Let me
Thing
know.
like this girl makes sense. For instance, the other day I was talking about chemical changes. I'd given out the litmus paper to show cause and effect.
And she knew the answer before you'd started.
Well, not quite. The answer simply didn't interest her.
Yes, I can see red turns to blue, Mr. Chesterton, but that's because we're dealing with two inactive chemicals.
Sorry, I'm going to try not to pause too much. So, Ian is a science teacher and Barbara is a history teacher. That's, I mean, perfect companions, right? Perfect subjects for companions.
They only act in relation to each other.
But that's the whole point of the experiment, Susan.
Yes,
Susan.
it's a bit obvious, isn't it? Well, I'm not trying to be rude, but couldn't we deal with two active chemicals? Then red could turn blue all by itself and we could get on with something else. I'm sorry, it was just an idea.
She means it. These simple experiments are child's play to her.
You know, it's almost got to the point where I deliberately want to trip her up.
Yes. Something like that happened the other day. I'd set the cluster problem with A, B, and C as the 3 dimensions.
It's impossible unless you use D and D.
D and E? Whatever for? Do the problem that's set, Susan.
I can't, Mr. Chesterton. You can't simply work on 3 other dimensions.
3 of them? Time being the 4th, I suppose. Then what do you need E for? What do you make the 5th dimension?
Space.
Too many questions and not enough answers.
Stupid? Or just doesn't know? So we have a 15-year-old girl who is absolutely brilliant at some things and excruciatingly bad at others.
There she is.
Kind of like me, if I'm being very generous to myself.
Look, can we go in? I hate to think of her alone in that place.
She is alone.
Do they think she's homeless?
She might be meeting a boy. Didn't that occur to you?
I almost hope she is.
What do you mean?
Well, it would be so wonderfully normal. Silly, isn't it? I feel frightened. As if we were about to interfere in something that is best left alone.
You have to answer that question later down the line, whether you
Come on, let's get it
should have
over
left
with.
it alone.
Well, don't you feel it?
I take things as they come.
The tension?
Come on.
Creepy. There's not much light, is there? It's shot in black and white, and
Miss.
I suppose they're showing they're in
stuff to find her.
they're in a dark junkyard. But it's very dark, isn't it? Very moody, especially with the music, right?
Dropped it.
What?
The torch.
Well, use a match.
Like we're in complete darkness at the moment.
Oh, never mind. Susan. 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 Mr. Chesterton and Miss Wright. Got out and out of scene.
Ian, what is this?
Well, it's a police box. What on earth is he doing here? Say, these things are usually on the street. Look, feel it. Feel it, you feel it?
It's a faint vibration.
It's alive.
Gordon's alive. Let me know if you want me to watch Flash Gordon, because I've never seen that film either.
It's not connected to anything, unless it's through the floor.
Look, I've had enough. Let's go and find a policeman.
Yes, all right.
Open the box.
It's not her. Quick.
There you are, Grandfather.
Shh. Excuse me.
What are you doing here?
We're looking for a girl.
We?
Good evening.
What do you want?
One of our pupils, Susan Foreman, came into this yard.
Really? In here? Are you sure?
Yes, we saw her from across the street.
One of their pupils, not the policeman.
I beg your pardon?
Why were you spying on her? Who are you?
Good question.
We heard a young girl's voice call out to you.
Your hearing must be very acute. I didn't hear anything.
It came from in here.
You imagined it.
I certainly did not imagine it.
Young man, is it reasonable to suppose that anybody would be inside a cupboard like that?
Would it therefore be unreasonable to ask you to let us have a look inside?
I wonder why I've never seen that before.
He does come across quite peculiar, strange.
Dirty.
Won't you help us? We're two of her teachers from the Coal Hill School. We saw her come in and we haven't seen her leave. Naturally, we're worried.
What is that thing next to it?
Oh, I'm afraid it's none of my business. I suggest you leave here.
Not until we're satisfied that Susan isn't here. And frankly, I don't understand your attitude.
Oh, yours leaves a lot to be desired.
You open the door.
There's nothing in there.
Then what are you afraid to show us?
Afraid? Oh, go away.
We
Go
think
away.
we're policemen.
Very well.
And you're coming with us.
Oh, am I? I don't think so, young man. No, I don't think so.
We can't force him. But we can't leave him here. Doesn't it seem obvious to you he's got her locked up in there?
Look at it.
There's no door handle. Must be a secret lock somewhere.
I think
Susan's voice.
Of course it
the
was.
pilot is actually longer than this one. This one feels a lot more
In
tighter.
there. It's Mr. Chesterton and Miss Wright, Susan.
Don't you
Maybe I'm
think you're
wrong.
being rather high-handed, young man? Thought you saw a young girl into the yard. You imagine you heard her voice. You believe she might be in
High-handed?
there. It's not very substantial, is it?
I haven't heard that phrase before.
I'm not hindering you. If you both want to make fools of yourselves, I suggest you do what you said you'd do. Go and find a policeman.
Or you nip off quietly in the other direction.
Selfie. There's only one way in and out of this yard. I shall be here when you get back. I want to see your faces when you try to explain away your behavior to a policeman.
Nevertheless, we're going to find one. Come on, Barbara.
What are you doing out there?
She is in there!
Close the door, please.
Barbara!
It's not very soundproof, is it, the TARDIS? Oh, was the door open? Okay, okay. I love the buzz.
Close the door, Susan.
I love the big chunky doors as well. I think the TARDIS still has that, I think.
I believe these people are known to you.
They're two of my school teachers. What are you doing here?
They must have followed you. That particular school. I knew something like this would happen. We stayed in one place too long.
Why should they follow me?
Is this really where you live, Susan?
Yes.
And what's wrong with it?
But it was just a telephone box.
Perhaps.
And this is your grandfather?
Yes?
Well, why didn't you tell us that?
I don't discuss my private life with strangers.
It was a police telephone box. I walked all round it. Barbara, you saw me.
You don't deserve any explanations. You pushed your way
wonder
in
if they're
here
gonna say
uninvited
it.
and unwelcome.
Maybe they already did. I don't think so.
No, this is
Dear,
absurd.
dear, dear. This is very...
I feel I walked all round it.
It stopped again, you know, and I've tried... Oh, you wouldn't understand.
But I want to understand.
Yes. But by the way, Susan, I managed to find a replacement for that faulty filament. It's a damn job, but I...
Faulty
thank you,
filament.
sir.
It's an illusion. It must be.
What is he talking about now?
What are you doing
Sorry?
here?
You don't understand, so you find excuses. Illusions, indeed. You say you can't fit an enormous building into one of your smaller sitting rooms.
No.
But you've discovered television, haven't you?
Yes?
Then by showing an enormous building on your television screen, you can do what seemed impossible, couldn't you?
No.
Yes.
Very
No,
different.
No.
Not quite clear, is it?
Completely
I
different.
can see by your face that you're not certain.
think.
You don't understand. I knew you wouldn't. Never mind. Now, which switch was it? No. Ah, yes. That is it. The point is not whether you understand. What is going to happen to you? So tell everybody about the ship now.
Ship?
Yes, ship. This doesn't roll along on wheels, you know.
You mean
I like it being called a ship.
The TARDIS can go anywhere.
TARDIS? I don't understand you, Susan.
Well, I made up the name TARDIS from the initials, time and relative dimension in space.
That's been retconned, right?
You'd
It
better
is.
understand when you saw the different dimensions inside from those outside.
It is called a TARDIS by the Gallifreyans, right? This is something they've rewritten. Her making up the name, right? I believe.
Let me get this.
Let me know. Actually, unless it's
Thing
spoilery,
that
don't
looks
do that.
like a police box
Please.
standing in a junkyard. It can move anywhere in time and space.
Right so.
But that's
Quite so.
ridiculous.
Why won't they believe us?
Well, how can we?
Now, don't get exasperated, Susan. Remember the Red India. When he saw the first steam train, his savage mind thought it an illusion too.
You're treating us like children.
Am I? Children of my civilization would be insulted.
Your civilization?
Yes, my civilization.
I love how
I
rude he
tolerate
is.
this century, but I don't enjoy it. Have you ever thought what it's
Me
like
too.
to be wanderers in the fourth dimension? Have you?
What is the fourth dimension?
The
Space?
exiles?
Time. It's time.
Susan and
Time,
I
sorry.
are cut off from our own planet, without friends or protection.
I think.
But one day, we shall get back. Yes,
One day.
One day.
I wonder when that
It's true,
happens.
every word of it's true. You
Definitely
know
did
what
not get
you've
that
done
far.
here. Grandfather, let them go now, please. Look, if they don't understand, they can't hurt us at all. I understand these people better than you. Their minds reject things they don't understand.
I suppose that's true.
Yeah. Susan, listen to me. Can't you see that all this is an illusion? It's a game that you and your grandfather are playing, if you like, but you can't expect us to believe it.
It's not a game.
But Susan,
It's not. Look, I love your school. I love England in the 20th century. The last 5 months have been the happiest of my life.
but you are one of us. You look
Christ.
like us. You sound like us.
What was your life like
I
before?
was born in another time, another world.
Now look here, Susan, you... Oh, come on, Barbara. Let's get out of here.
It's no use, you can't get out. He won't let you go.
He's a bit of a psychopath, isn't he? He's a bit crazy. Not a psychopath, but he's a bit unhinged. It's like he's kidnapped these people.
Which is it? Which control operates the door?
Still think it's all an illusion.
Like he kind of has an evil laugh as well.
Space is a scientific dream I don't expect to find solved in a junkyard.
Your arrogance is nearly as great as your
Will
ignorance.
you open the door?
That's a good
Open
line.
the door! Susan, will you help us?
I mustn't.
Very well then. I'll have to risk it myself.
I can't stop you.
I don't touch it, it's live! Ian, what on earth do you think you're doing? Grandfather, let them go now,
And
please.
by tomorrow we should be a public spectacle, a subject for news and idle gossip.
They won't say anything.
My dear child, of course they will. Put yourself in their place. They're bound to make some sort of a complaint to the authorities, or at the very least, talk to their friends. If I do let them go, Susan, you realize, of course, we must go too.
No, Grandfather, we've had all this
No
up.
alternative, child.
You want to stay. Look, they're both kind people. Why won't you trust them? All you've got to do is ask them to promise to keep our secret, and
It's out of the question.
I won't go, Grandfather.
How'd you put that genie back in the bottle?
I'd rather eat the TARDIS than you.
Now you're being sentimental and childish.
No, I mean it.
Very
Sorry.
well. Then you must go with them. I'll open the door.
Are you coming, Susan?
Oh, no, Grandfather, no!
Let me go. Get back to the ship, child. Hold it.
Oh dear. Does this version still have like the trippy effects over their face? I think that happened in the pilot, right? Oh yeah, I love this shot of like London zooming out of London. And that, I guess that's a model? No, it's probably just a photograph, I guess. Anything practical I love. So in theory I should love lots of elements of classic Who. Trippy. I quite like how simple the trippy effects are. Like it's just like some kind of pulsate. Like, didn't they film a monitor, right? And it's just the feedback. It looks cool though. They all look a bit constipated, especially Hartnell. Does that happen in time travel? Constipation? I could see it. Captain Jack Hartnell says his vortex manipulator makes you vomit, so I could see it. What is that? Looks like snow. I guess something to be sand? Dirt? He looks like he's made a mistake. He looks like he regrets it, which he probably does. Is Ian still passed out from touching the dial? God, must have been a... Oh no, she's passed... So why are they passed out then? Just shock? That is creepy, man. That is creepy. Jacqueline Hill and William Russell. I should get to know those names. I knew Carol Ann Ford, I think. Okay. Should I just let the music play? Actually, I shouldn't, just for... Okay, that was cool. That was cool. Let me resize. Good. I like how mysterious it is. I want to know more. I mean, I feel like this is just like... It's 20 minutes... Like, if this... I suppose looking at the series, I have to really think about Classic Who differently, right, from New Who, because obviously this is an individual episode, but it's, I guess, part of a serial. So it's kind of like feature length in a way, because this does feel like the first 20 minutes of a film, because it's establishing. There's just so much. I don't know the technical film word, but it's just an establishing episode. Like all the stuff is all the conflict and the repercussions of them time traveling is gonna happen in the next episode. They're going to be mugged off by a caveman, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was cool. It sets up a lot of mystery, answers some questions. It kind of like dangles the plot device in front of you, right? We've got time and space. Obviously, that's the potential is gigantic, and they've come from outer space, so you kind of want to know more about that. It's kind of hard for me to view it really, or speak about it objectively or analyse it, because I kind of know what's going to happen. I haven't seen much of Classic Who, I'll reiterate. Seen a little bit of Series 1, and I mean 1963 Series 1. Seen a few serials. My favourite Classic Who Doctor is John Pertwee, and my favourite New Who Doctor is Peter Capaldi, so I guess that lines up. But I don't really remember anything. I don't remember the plot lines. I remember, I guess, certain stuff, I guess, but very, very little. It might come back as I watch it. I think I'm going to remember very little about Series 1 because I haven't watched it in ages. And I kind of flew through it as well. And I've been recommended to not watch them back to back to back. Let me know how I should watch these. If I should watch one a day. If it's okay to watch them back to back, if I should watch 1 or 2, 1 to 3, 4 a week, a serial a day, let me know, man. Let me know. And I've got to get used to the serialized format of it, like individual stories as opposed to kind of individual episodes. But I think I will. I'm not going to watch all the serials at once at the moment, because like I've got a friend who's into Classic Who, and he says they weren't meant to be watched like that, right? These serials weren't meant to be watched as an individual chunk. They were split over maybe a week. I guess it depends on how many, because Doctor Who was on quite frequently, like multiple times a week, if I remember correctly. Let me know if there's any information you think I should know. Let me know coming forward, and try to avoid spoilers. I guess I'm asking questions, and I'm leaving it up to your discretion whether you're going to answer them and how you answer them. If I think you're just taking the piss, then I'm just going to delete you and ban your comments and block you from commenting, because it's just going to ruin it. Frankly, it's going to ruin the videos, and it's just going to ruin it for me, because I'm quite excited to do this, because I've wanted to do this since, I don't know, watching the first Christopher Eccleston episode when I was like 7 or 8 years old. So I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Cheers. Goodbye. Should be weekly as well. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye bye.